Hello, my dear friends. This is a direct challenge from a heart of love to all men and women who hold positions of responsibility in divine service to one God of love, a Father, Mother God, who created all mankind regardless of their belief, their lifestyles, or their disabilities. My request to you is from my heart, to invite you to revisit your thinking and the way your followers are behaving towards other faiths, towards God's creation, where there seems to be an apathy and an indifference to the United Nations Charter of Compassion, where there appears to be an intolerance of other beliefs because they don't toe the party line. My request is simple. As an independent Catholic Christian Franciscan monk, I come to you not with any authority. I come to you as a brother who has committed his life to God for peace, for interfaith unity. And I know on a personal level I have paid the price for daring to be different. And I can only speak as one who has supported many, many men and women who gave their lives to God to end up in the trash can of society from religious abuse. But we draw a line and we forgive and we move on. But the time has come, my dear friends, where we have to put aside our own views and try and understand a mindset of a loving Father, Mother God, who created us to walk in simplicity and to listen to our hearts and follow the teachings of our masters, in my case, Jesus Christ. And the words of Jesus for me are very simple. You will know my disciples by the love they have for one another. Interestingly, Gandhi, a holy man whom I love dearly and whose way of life I respect enormously, has this to say about my brother and sister Christians. He says, I like your Christ, but not your Christians, because your Christians are not like your Christ. What did he mean? What is he saying? And I think he could say the same about all faiths, about the intolerance that we have at grassroots level, by how we shy away from our responsibilities as a child of God. As religious leaders, and as men and women who've dedicated our lives to God in divine service, we have a duty of care first to ourself, to our higher self, to our mind, our body and our soul. Next, we have a duty of care to our neighbour, regardless of their colour, their creed, their sexual orientation or their religious belief. We have a duty of care. That is one of the great commandments, one of the sacred tenets of the holy books. In Buddhism, in Islam, in Christianity, in Judaism, in Hinduism, in Sikhism, and in the Baha'i faith. But where are we going wrong? Clearly we are. Many religious leaders now are afraid to stand up and be counted. Is it because of weakness? Is it because of political correctness? Or is it because they're afraid of being identified as that TV character keeping up appearances with hyacinth bouquet? I think the latter is true. I think today God's religious leaders are weak-willed, with the exception to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, a man who for the last 50 years has spent his life trying to safeguard his people, to ensure that they can return to their homeland, Tibet. And where has all the religious leaders been? I think most of us have been in hiding, but I know I've not, because I did a YouTube video last year to call on all God's people. And do you know what? The people who attacked me the most for that were from within the Christian church. So where is their values, the values given to them by Jesus, their role model? I call you friends, he said, if you do the will of my Father on earth. My plea is rooted in my Franciscan spirituality. Francis, in the 12th century, came by God to a church that had become corrupt, a church that had alienated itself from his people. And God used a simple man to bring a simple message and to lead people back to the Good Shepherd. Could not the same be true today, where many religious beliefs are more focused on keeping up appearances, numbers who attend services, the amount of income coming in to cover their costs? What's happened to providence? What's happened to surrendering the heart and trusting in a loving God? Well, my request is very simple now. Jesus said, you will know my disciples by their fruits, not by their suits. So let us come from our ivory palaces and let us connect with real people who are struggling and who are suffering. Let us be there for our brothers and sisters of the Baha'i faith who are still imprisoned in Iraq and being tortured because they dare to be different. Where is the established church there? Where is the Abrahamic faith? And where is the Abrahamic faith and our brothers and sisters of Buddhism, Hinduism and Sikhism and Baha'ism when we need to support the Dalai Lama? I'm not a great believer in people power, particularly if it has an anarchist element, because I, a Franciscan, adopt a non-violent means to everything. You could say I'm a Buddhist, but I do have a great respect for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I'm not a Buddhist. But the man speaks sense, and the man, for me, is the beating heart of a loving God. And if that is so, then why are all the religious leaders appointed by their people, by their followers? Where are they in supporting this holy man? Oh yes, we have the conventions and everybody goes and a lot of money's being spent, not from their own personal coffers, but from their followers. But I think the time has come where we throw the gloves down and we look into the eyes of God and we say, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose here, God? And I think you'll be surprised when you hear the words, get your finger out and do something beautiful for peace. So this is a rallying call to all religious leaders to cut the rhetoric and the dogma, to stop being politically correct, to be a man and woman of God, to follow in the footsteps of your masters, those who taught you wisely and who instruct you wisely each day. And if you are Christian, your role model is Jesus, but you know what? He paid the price, as you and I will, because he was crucified. Today, the members of the Teo community, many of whom are Christian, who've embraced interfaith, to follow the vision of Francis to unite all faiths and none, the people who've crucified us and continue to do so are Christians. But we love them, we forgive them, and we've moved on because we took the words of Jesus to heart. Leave a blessing, wipe the dust from your feet and depart. But that does not mean we've reneged on our commitment for peace. Join us.